Hey guys, this is like the first video on my channel, and spontaneously, my friend and we went to locals yesterday, and from what you're seeing, we did actually, I got first place with this deck by accident. I don't know if this was on purpose, but like I guess I did play through meta, so I'm just gonna go through the deck profile quickly because I don't want to kind of sit here and talk about stupid shit. All right, so I played 3 Buster Blader. This card's really good. Most of the time I don't really use him for anything more than he's like, you put him in the graveyard and you fuse him from the grave. So you really don't ever use him unless like you have like those plays where like you have to like kind of bait out your opponent's shit and you just want him to pop something, so you're just like putting him in attack mode. He's like really big. So there are times when he does actually come in handy. I play 3 Buster Whelp. This card's really good. What this card does is it searches the Destruction Sword cards from your deck, and also like when you have him in the grave and you control a Buster Blader, you can send 1 Destruction Sword card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon him. So he's kind of got like a pretty good, like almost like a Plague Spreader like type effect, except he doesn't banish himself when he leaves the field. And the other effect is I haven't really read the other one. Oh yeah, he contributed himself to special summon Buster Blader from the hand. So that's actually a pretty useful effect that I've used plenty of times. This is where it gets a little bit different. So I played the Invoked engine, which was like just 3 Alistair. This card was like just really stupid. I like it, and I'm still on the debate with it, mainly because I keep drawing multiples of it, but I feel like I need this card at 3 because I need to have normal summons in the deck to search. I know most people already know what he does, and he works really good with like the fusions and stuff. That's actually it for like the type of like the monsters that just do anything like important to like kind of help advantage. I do play like 5 hand traps, and that's like 2 Ash and 2 Ghost Ogre and the 1 Maxi. These I do not play like 3 of any of these things, especially Maxi because you can't. Wish you really could, but that's basically, most of the time I felt like Ghost Ogre actually came in handy more than Ash did. Ash I didn't really draw the entire time. I think I did it once, but my opponent still was able to play through them. I'll go through my matchups at the end as well. So those are the monsters. For the spells, it's just pretty basic. I just played board wipes. This did help. You play like just the 2 Dark Holes and Regeki. This has actually been like, I'm never taking these out. These are just so good right now. 3 Duality. Duality's been like my favorite thing so far this format. Just from like finding out that this deck does like what it wants to, like just what it does for me. I love it. So I don't really want to play anything else until like links come out. This just gets to everything. It gets to the trap card that I'll be showing you. It gets to Buster Whelp. It gets to Alistair. It just gets to everything. So that's that. I'm not liking this card right now. I don't like Twin Twister. Twin Twister's kind of ass. So because it just seems like anything you're popping, even like Cyclone wasn't even a good replace, but I'm going to replace these. They didn't win me really any games, and most of the time I didn't really draw it and I didn't really use it too much. But they're getting switched out. This is gonna stay just because it's like a 1-for-1, so whatever. We're gonna get into kind of like the spells that actually like do fusing. So like you have like the Destruction Sword fusion card. I only played 1. This card really, man, I don't even know if I should play it, but like it's really good against Dragon decks. So if you have like Buster Blader in your hand and you draw that, like it's actually pretty decent. So, and then I play like the 2 Invoked fusions. Don't like, you have to play 2. Don't play 3. It's like really cloggy. Like 2 is perfect. This is the card I'm going to be cutting down to 2, but I played like 3 Magical Dimension. I was drawing this like in like 2s, and I didn't like that because like I didn't need 2 in my hand. But this will get cut to a 2 as soon as I'm like trying to figure out what else to put in. For the traps, I'm going to go through the Destruction Swords now. So like you play 2 Flash. This card is really good. If you control the fusion, so like it's set effect, like when you have it set on the field, and you flip it while you control the fusion monster with a Buster Blader in their name as a material, it banishes all monsters your opponent controls. And then when it's in the graveyard, if your opponent activates any targeting effects that target Buster Blader or a Buster Blader monster, you could banish it and negate the effect and destroy it. And it does destroy it. That's really nice. Like, some cards just negate the card and don't do shit. So, that's really boring. This card's got a really good effect. Most of the time, like, you don't want to draw this card. But if you do, like, that's why you only play 2. I was playing at 3. I was playing everything at 3 until, like, I kind of just, like, started, like, cutting everything down to a ratio to where I felt was really strong. So, 2 of these is really good because it's just, like, the discarding effect is not good, like, in general. But, like, if you have it, then you can use it, and it's really good. But its main thing you're going to use it for is when it's in the grave, you banish it, and Buster Blader and a Destruction Sword card, or Buster Blader and a Dragon Monster, and you special summon the Fusion from your extra deck. So you really don't have to, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, the Fusion spell card is, like, only there for, like, specific reasons, and I don't know if I'll play it still. I might side it against Dragon decks, but this is the best card in the game right now for me. Like, for me, this card makes me so happy. When I read this, I was like, this card's stupid, and I'm going to play this deck. So, what this card does is, when you activate it, you summon the Buster Dragon from your deck, and it's a cost. The first effect of this card is a cost. So you send, like, a Destruction Sword card from your deck and a Buster Blader from your deck to graveyard. So that's a cost. They can't ash this card, which is nice, because it doesn't summon from the main deck. It doesn't send cards for an effect, so they can't ash it, which is really nice. So even if your opponent negates the effect to summon the card from the extra deck, you still have to send the cards to the graves, which still gives you, like, a really good, like, board, like, a good graveyard setup. And then the card in the really good effect this card has is, like, it protects all your Destruction Swords on the field from battle and from card effects for the rest of the turn. That's not the most useful effect, but I've done it a couple times to kind of save the tuner, but I still take the damage, which is kind of annoying. So, and then just the basics, like, just 3 Solemn, Strike, and 1 Warning. This is just simple. Like, I don't know. I hope Strike actually goes to, like, maybe, like, just kind of like the OCG. I just hope we get it to 2. It's annoying playing 3 because I feel like I have to play 3. So that's the main deck. I'm going to go through the extra deck first, and then we'll go through, like, my terrible sides. And somehow, it was a mini tournament. The tournament was, like, 10 people. So it wasn't bad, but I did play, like, 3 zoos. So we're just going to go with the cards we're going to cut now. We're going to cut these 2. I never summoned them. I did want to, just in case I got 2 Busters on the field. Or the one Invoked that's level 7. Yeah, this card would have stayed if I would have summoned it and won a game off of it. Or, like, but, like, these 2 just, they suck. Don't play them. So, I did decide, I didn't have enough of the fusions, but these 2 are going to get, he might stay at 1. This is definitely getting cut. I don't like it. But, they didn't do anything. He got me my first game somehow. Like, it kind of just locks your opponent down. For the entire turn, your opponent can't activate, like, any effects for the first turn this card's summoned. And then only, like, 1 monster each battle phase can battle. So, he's kind of annoying, in a sense. And he's level 4. But, this is where, like, this needs to be played of 2. I only had 1 at the time. And this needs to be played at 2, so I'm going to bump these up both to 2, but they're so good, they're so useful. Shit, man, if I don't know if I should even play 3 of this, but, like, 2 seemed pretty well. There was a time where I did need a 3rd, but it didn't come up too often. Makaba's so good. It's just, I love Makaba, but, like, other than that, this guy, he was really good too. He inflicts the difference. He's just so dumb. 3 Buster Blader, like, this is the best card, like, it's so good. Like, I don't even know, like, this deck is so versatile that I run, like, some of my games off of this, I want off of this, like, it's just so dumb. And, this card is really good, so it's Buster Dragon. This is the card that the trap card summons, so what this card does is, when it's, on the field, all your opponent's monsters become dragon, and once per turn, if you don't control a Buster Blader monster, you can summon 1 from your graveyard. The other effect I didn't really use because I didn't play the other Buster Whelp card that doesn't let your opponent special summon the extra deck, mainly because it's like, it's kind of, I don't know how fast it would be, but it just seems like I would never have that card enough to do that, and it really depends on what gets replaced, because there's 3 cards in the deck now that are being currently replaced, which is Twin Twister and the 1 Magical Meltdown. But this card literally just gets summoned. It's 2800 defense, So it's got really nice ass cheeks. So it just sits there for the turn, and if your opponent pops it, that's great too. It's just there to kind of like force your opponent out of effects and stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, this is just like a really fun deck. Like it really does have a lot of reacting to your opponent. I played like one Beals. I don't know how this is going to fare out anymore. I didn't really summon it. I summoned it like I didn't even summon this like the whole time, so he might get cut too. It's really not that hard. It really just Masterpiece was the problem, and there were times where like my opponent wasn't even able to get Masterpiece on the field. But I didn't need this. I think it might be replaced too, so we'll find. We'll see. I'm gonna go through the side deck, which will be nice because this is like the shittiest side deck. This card was probably the only card in the entire deck that like needed to be played. It didn't help me against anything but dinosaurs. I did play a dino deck, and I did summon this, and I even like beat my opponent down for 1700. This card probably alone got over like, man, I'd say like at least over 4,000 damage of like attacking 3 times directly while my opponent was top decking. Played like 3 Cyclone. This card sucks, but it's good in like theory, but it's not good. Like it's just annoying. So I just like don't like it in a sense. It's just kind of annoying because I did so much. Like it didn't get rid of anything. So I didn't play, I didn't draw, and when I did, like I top decked it when I didn't need it. I didn't play this, but I'm considering it. These cards, in theory, were good, but I didn't draw them ever, and I never drew them when I needed them. So they're kind of conditional, and they might just get swapped out. So what I'm noticing with a lot of the True Dracos and Masterpiece is like Masterpiece is getting unaffected by spells and monsters. So like when your opponent like summons things, like I don't even need to negate the summon. Like I could just like literally play cards that are like Quaking or like Mirror Force cards, maybe even like Ring of Destruction or Compulsory, because those cards just like kind of remove the problem. And Dryden and those are all like I can just board wipe them. So it's really easy to like. I'm not saying like it's really easy to take care of the deck. Like it's just like Masterpiece. If Masterpiece is on the field, like getting over it with its pop effect is annoying. But when it has like no effect and like it's not unaffected by anything, it's like you could just literally just out it. Like your opponent can't use the effect if they didn't tribute summon it, so you just summon a fusion and attack over it with Alistair. So it's pretty bad. And this was a card that I felt like I just wanted to kind of try out, and this is kind of cheesy, but like I played like 2 Drama Trio, and I did get it. I did actually use it against the one thing, mainly because like I don't want my opponent tributing monsters, and I thought like by getting like 3 monsters that can't be tributed on the field, Buster Blader would actually have more monsters to attack because he can't attack directly. And also if like I played the Invoke Fire, like he can just run through them, they lose 300 plus the difference of battle. And since the one gains like 300 for each, I don't know if I'm going to keep it in the deck. It just seems like it will work in a sense. And this card might actually be better during Link format when your opponent actually has to get a shit ton of monsters on the field. But like at the same time, you can still use them for those kind of things. They're just there so your opponent can't tribute summon. I didn't really have Mask of Restrict. I'm still like building this deck. I decided to play this like last minute. I was like, it's just like the main deck's complete, but I mean, I might as well play. So I got first place in like a little mini tournament of like 10 people at our locals. Some of the other players were gone, but like I played against first round was, I believe, a random deck. It was kind of like Rogue. I was playing against Lightsworn. Yeah, it was like Lightsworn. And I 2-0'd that one. I got a 2-0 win on that. Next game, I played against True Draco Zoo. He was playing like some weird shit in it, but like I did beat it. I went 2-1 against him. And then I think like game 3, I ended up playing Matthew, one of our good players at the locals, and he beat me. He actually 2-0'd me. That was my only loss during the tournament, and that's actually funny because what I'll tell you later. And then game 4 in like top 4 where we were like doing that, I played against another player. I played True King Dino, and I beat that. I 2-0'd that, and then then it was like the rematch. It was like for like top 8. Like we were playing like through top 4. So like Matthew won his match, and then we actually decided to we actually got rematched for first and second place, and I ended up actually beating him game 3. We actually both game 1 I went first, and I actually had a better setup, and I was able to play through his plays. Game 2 I bricked. This deck doesn't always brick. It has like I'd say over 80, like maybe over 70% of drawing really good. And then what's it called? Game 3 we both bricked like kind of equally, but not as bad. And I actually ended up top decking just like things that would help me, and I ended up attacking directly for with Makaba, and I just won the game. And it was great because like everybody in the tournament was like, man, Buster Blader took first place. So this deck is really good, guys. Don't take it for granted. This just because it's not Zoo doesn't mean it's not good. And just remember that like any deck, like personally, I believe that you want to play, as long as it has like some type of synergy, like it can be played. So thanks, guys. Yeah, this is the Yug Life. This is my channel.